Spaulding, Handgun Combatives. Before I begin, I want to thank everybody who has checked into the new website, handguncombatives.com, handguncombatives.org, and davespaulding.com. A lot of good comments about it. I'm really enthused about the feedback I'm getting on it, so I think at least social media-wise, I'm heading in the right direction. One of the questions that has come up over and over again since I put up the new website is, what are the triangle targets for? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, one of the features of the new website is we put up some PDFs of some drill targets that I use in my classes. And apparently I wasn't very good at explaining what these are for, so I thought what I'd do in this video is explain these. What they are for is recoil control. Simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type drill. I do it at 15 feet. You could do it at 20. But the idea behind it is to get you to return where you started. A lot of people will do this type of drill on circles or rectangles. But if you think about what recoil is it doesn't really climb, it goes back. Equal and opposite reaction. Bullet goes this way, recoil goes that way. It's your hand that makes it climb because it won't travel backwards, so it climbs upward. And what we try to do in that recoil control is to get the gun to return where it started. Hopefully you're tracking with me on this. But what we want is we want the gun to look more like a piston than something that's climbing up. And for that reason, I use a triangle. What I hope you'll do when you fire is that you'll go bam, 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 bam here, or you have something that's kind of linear so that you're coming back in that piston motion. I don't want to see bam, 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 something that can happen when you're using circles, rectangles, square, stuff like that. So what I have you do is fire basically to a point so that you return back down again. Let's step back here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's go back here to about 15 feet. I'm going to make sure my gun is loaded, and I'm going to show you kind of what I'm talking about here. Let's put the electronic timer on. That way we can give you kind of an idea of where I'm at. Now, as you can see, I had one climb out on me, so I really wasn't controlling the recoil like I wanted. Let's take a look at the time. 1 second to the first shot, 29, 30, 27, 30. Well, Dave, that's not very fast. I mean, man, some of the high-end shooters, they put in 18 splits, 15 splits. Let me put this in context for you. The blink of a human eye is 0.32 seconds. So what I basically did is I put these rounds on this target, of course with the exception of this one that kind of did get away from me, all of them in this little grouping inside the blink of an eye. Which brings us to, how fast do we need to shoot? Well, it depends on your real world of work. Let's go back here and do this again. What I want to try to do is I'm going to try to speed it up. As a general rule, the high-end shooters, the folks that are shooting for the money, they try to shoot at that quarter-second split time or even faster. So let's take a look and see if we can accelerate this just a little bit. Kind of got away from me a little bit there. You'll see what I'm talking about. If this would have worked out for me, this line would have been right up to here, staying inside of that point instead of drifting out. But if you take a look at my splits, just under a second to get there. But I went 18, 19, 20, 19. So actually pushing it a little bit faster than I needed to do. So how fast do we need to go? Well, you know, if I would have slowed that last group down a little bit to say more like 25, 24, 23, I probably would have been right where I wanted to be. So, you know, unless you're shooting at that competitive high end and those splits really need to be there, my thought is that if you can keep your rounds in those triangles at 15, 18, 20 feet, and you're under that third of a second, that blink of an eye, or even better yet, down around that quarter of a second, 26, 25, 24, you can probably take your very valuable time and your very expensive ammunition, and you can probably work on something else. So that's how the triangles are used. I hope this was useful. See you next time.